Right now, beneath Naples, invisible death is rising. Scientists just detected something terrifying in the air you're breathing. Not earthquake, not eruption. Something worse, mercury, pure deadly mercury. 230 times higher than safe levels, and nobody is warning you. This is Solfatara crater. A beautiful tourist destination. Hundreds of thousands visit every year. Families, children, they walk right into toxic gas clouds and don't even know it. The numbers are shocking. 690 nanograms per cubic meter of mercury vapor floating in the air. Safe level? 2 to 3 nanograms. Scientists measured it, verified it, confirmed it. But the world stayed silent. Every single day, 0.9 to 4.5 grams of pure mercury being released from these vents. That's poison accumulating in the soil, in the water, in the fish, in your body. Mercury doesn't disappear. It doesn't break down. It bioaccumulates, builds up over years, silently destroys your nervous system, your brain, your organs. By the time you realize something is wrong, the damage is permanent. Scientists discovered this in 2013, 13 years ago. They published the research, peer-reviewed, confirmed. And what happened? Silence. Complete silence. Italian authorities aren't talking about it. Tourism industry wants it quiet. Media isn't covering it. Because once people know the truth, everything changes. In this video, we're exposing what scientists found. Why mercury emissions are off the charts. How it's spreading through Naples. What health dangers you're facing right now. And why authorities are covering it up. This isn't fear-mongering. This is documented science. Real measurements, real danger, real threat to your life. The volcano isn't just dangerous because of earthquakes and eruptions. It's poisoning the air silently. Every breath you take in Naples carries invisible toxins, and the government knows it. So here's what happened. September 2013. A team of scientists decided to do something nobody had done before. They actually measured what was coming out of Solfatara's vents. Not just temperature, not just gases. They wanted to know exactly what chemicals were floating in the air, and what they found made them go silent for a moment, because they realized something horrifying was happening and nobody knew about it. Think about it. Solfatara has been active for thousands of years. Romans knew about it. Medieval people knew about it. Tourists visit it every day. But in over 2,000 years, nobody actually sat down and measured the mercury content in the air. The scientists used something called atomic absorption spectrometry. Basically advanced equipment that can detect even tiny amounts of mercury molecules. They positioned sensors every 40 to 50 centimeters around the fumarole vents. They measured the air continuously, day after day, and the readings kept coming back with the same terrifying number, 690 nanograms per cubic meter. They checked again. Same number. They double-checked. Same number. Still 690. Now, you might not understand what that number means. Let me break it down for you. The safe level of mercury in air? It's between 2 to 3 nanograms. That's the limit. That's what your body can handle without damage. But Solfatara was emitting 690. Do the math yourself. 230 times higher. 230 times. Not just a little bit more. Not 2 times. Not 5 times, 230 times the safe level. When those scientists saw that comparison, they knew they discovered something massive. But here's the part that gets worse. They realized this wasn't a one-time spike. This wasn't an anomaly. The mercury was coming from the magma itself, from deep underground. From the same magma system that's causing all the earthquakes and ground deformation. Ask yourself this. If you found out something was 230 times more toxic than safe levels, would you keep it quiet? Would you go to work the next day like nothing happened? Because that's exactly what happened here. The scientists published their findings. You know what really gets me though? When I read about this study, my first thought was about the families living near Solfatara, the tourists taking selfies at the crater edge, the hikers spending hours breathing that air. They had no idea, none. So here's my question for you in the comments. Did you know about mercury emissions at Solfatara before this video? Have you ever visited the crater? Because if you have, you need to understand what we're about to tell you about what's actually happening to your body right now. So now you're wondering, okay, there's 230 times more mercury in the air. But where is it actually going? What happens to it? Does it just float away? Does it disappear? Does it settle somewhere? And honestly, the answer is so much worse than you probably think. Mercury doesn't work like regular pollution. It's not like smoke that rises up and disappears into the clouds. Mercury is heavy, it's dense. So what happens as it falls? It settles into the soil around Solfatara. And then it just sits there. For years, for decades. But wait, it gets worse. Mercury doesn't just stay in the soil, it seeps down. It filters through the ground. And where does it end up? The water table. The groundwater that feeds into Naples' water supply. The water that people are drinking. And here's the thing that really should scare you. Once mercury gets into water, it goes into something called the food chain. Fish absorb it. They concentrate it in their bodies. Then humans eat the fish. And the mercury concentrates even more in human bodies. Think about this. Every time someone in Naples eats seafood from the bay, they're potentially consuming mercury that came from Solfatara vents. Every time a child drinks tap water, they might be getting trace amounts of mercury. It's not immediate. I want to ask you something. How many of you eat seafood regularly? How many of you live in Naples or visit regularly and drink the water? Because if you do, you need to understand that your body is potentially accumulating this right now. Not in 10 years. Not eventually. Right now. The scary part is that mercury damage is silent. You don't feel it happening. There's no pain, no immediate symptoms. It's like slow poisoning. Your nervous system starts getting damaged. Your brain function gets affected. Memory issues start. So here's my question for you. If you knew the water you were drinking, or the fish you were eating could have mercury in it, would you want someone to warn you? Or would you rather stay in the dark? Drop your answer in the comments. Let me know if you've experienced any of these symptoms or if you live in an affected area. Mercury is a neurotoxin. That means it attacks your nervous system, your brain, your nerves, everything that makes you think and move and feel. When mercury enters your body, it crosses the blood-brain barrier. That's the protective wall around your brain. And once it's in there, it stays. It attacks neurons. You know what's really messed up? The damage starts happening before you even notice anything is wrong. Someone could be breathing mercury from Solfatara or eating contaminated fish, and they won't feel anything for months, maybe years. But then things start changing, slowly at first. You might have trouble concentrating at work. You forget things more easily. Your memory gets fuzzy. Small things you used to remember just slip away. Then maybe you start getting headaches. And here's the thing that scares me the most. By the time symptoms show up, permanent damage has already happened. A lot of it. Mercury doesn't just sit in your brain doing nothing. It actively destroys neural connections. And those connections don't come back, ever. I want to know something from you guys. Has anyone in your family experienced memory problems? Tremors? Personality changes? Did they ever get tested for mercury exposure? Because honestly, how many people in Naples even know that mercury poisoning is a possibility? How many people have gone to doctors with these symptoms, and the doctors never thought to check for mercury? Tell me in the comments. Do you or anyone you know have these symptoms? Have you ever considered mercury might be the cause? Think about the money for a second. Solfatara is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It brings in tourism. Hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. Foreign money flowing into the local economy. Hotels, restaurants, tour guides. If people knew about mercury poisoning, would they still visit? And it's not even just Solfatara. This affects the whole Naples region, the water system, the seafood industry. If authorities officially acknowledged mercury contamination, there would be lawsuits, compensation claims, economic collapse. So it's easier to just not talk about it. Every single day, hundreds of people wake up in the morning. They decide to visit Solfatara. It's a beautiful crater. Historic. Unique. They take photos. They bring their kids. They spend money. They feel like they're doing something adventurous and educational, but they have absolutely no idea what they're actually doing. Think about the families, parents bringing children, excited kids running around the crater rim, taking deep breaths of the air, spending 30, 40, 50 minutes in that toxic zone. Parents thinking it's safe because the government allows tourists there, because there are no warning signs, because nobody told them otherwise. And the tour guides. What do you think they say? Do they mention mercury? Do they explain the health risks? No. They probably tell you about the geological history, about the Romans, about how hot the ground is. They might warn you about the steep edges. I want to ask you something. If you've been to Solfatara, how long did you spend there? How many times? Did you bring children? Because if you did, you need to know what we know now. And you need to think about what that means for your health going forward. Tell me in the comments. Have you visited Solfatara? When was the last time? Did you notice anything strange? Did anyone ever tell you about mercury risks? Here's what I need you to understand. This isn't a future problem. This isn't something that might happen. This is happening right now. In 2026, in Naples, people are being poisoned and they don't even know it. Think about how many people in Naples have visited Solfatara. Thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands over the past few decades. How many of them are now experiencing symptoms but have no idea why? How many people are being prescribed medications for depression or anxiety when actually it's mercury poisoning? I'm genuinely asking you, do you know anyone in Naples with unexplained health problems? Memory issues? Tremors? Personality changes? Because statistically, some of you watching this probably do. And now you might understand why. What would you do if you were in charge? Tell me in the comments. What should happen right now to stop this? So we've talked about the mercury. We've talked about the contamination. We've talked about how authorities are staying silent. But here's the real question that keeps me up at night. What happens next? Because this isn't stable. Mercury emissions aren't decreasing. They're not going away. They're continuing. Every single day. More mercury released. More accumulation. More people getting exposed. Think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. How many more people will have been exposed? How many more cases of unexplained neurological problems? How many more people will realize too late that they've been poisoned? This is bigger than just mercury. This is about a government that's willing to sacrifice public health for profit. This is about scientists who make discoveries and then get silenced. This is about an entire population being slowly poisoned without their knowledge. If you want to stay updated on what's really happening beneath Naples, if you want the truth that authorities don't want you to know, then subscribe right now, because we're going deeper into this crisis. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next. This is just the beginning.